This is Ed Learned with Merchant Link, bringing you our armchair wrap-up of day one from the PCI community meetings here in Orlando, Florida. And it was a pretty interesting first day. Probably the most fascinating aspect was how much the PCI Council is starting to embrace social media such as this and allowing people to tweet during the sessions and actually responding themselves to tweets. A couple of the highlights out of the session today was the announcement that the next release of the PCI DSS will be the 3.0 release, and that's going to be coming out in 2013, which coincidentally is when the 1.2 PA DSS release will expire for all 1.2 validated applications. A couple of the other highlights from the first day is they announced several new programs. The PCI Professional is an accreditation program that was announced, and it is the first individual-based accreditation as opposed to a corporate-based. So individuals will be able to become a PCI Professional. It is a tested exam-based certification which will need to be renewed every 2 years. They are also announcing a qualified integrator and reseller program, which is been created due to the high level of compromises by third parties. This is a program that PADSS integrators and resellers will be able to test into, and it has an annual recertification requirement. The third program to be introduced is the P2PE Solution Provider Program, which is tied to external to merchant point-to-point encryption solutions. This program is based off of both P2PE accredited hardware and software and requires hardware at both ends of the solution. So it is a PTS-based encryption within the pin entry devices on the store side, and at the decryption point, which has to be external to the merchant, via an HSM-based decryption appliance. That's pretty much a wrap-up of day one. We'll be back with some more updates tomorrow. And until then, this is Ed Learning with Merchant Link. Hoping to see you here at the PCI.